This is a fan-generated show. If you would like to support us, please go to jamieglazov.com, and also don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. All your support is greatly appreciated.
Thank you, Robert. And look, this is really frightening stuff here because you're one of the leading noble human rights activists and scholars in the West that's leading a battle against Sharia oppression of Muslim people as well as non-Muslim people. You're telling the truth about what Jihad is, about what Sharia is, and fighting on behalf of its victims. And we know what the left and also Islamic supremacists, how they try to twist this and try to paint people like you as the bad ones. And now the authorities, as you're pointing out, even our intelligence agencies, arguably, at least under Obama, were persecuting you and putting your life in danger. Now let's go across the Atlantic Ocean now to Tommy Robinson. Now in the UK, for more than 10 years now, the authorities turn their backs and they say that up to 1 million Kafir girls, non-Muslim girls, were victimized by these Muslim rape gangs. And the child services, the police, the authorities all turn their back. And yet, Tommy Robinson has to go to prison over these foolish technicalities. Now, am I correct that he was in a certain prison?
Yes, he was in a prison with a large Muslim population. He was actually moved there by the British authorities from a prison that had less of a Muslim population. And it was at the second place that he was obliquely threatened with the taunting about his dinners, and it was made clear that Muslims were preparing his food. It was very clear that the British government wanted to see him either injured or killed.
Frightening stuff. Look, there's other, Ezra Levant has unveiled a lot of this stuff. He's talked to Tommy, powerful interviews with him. We're finding out now that, yes, Tommy lost 40 pounds because he didn't even know what the Muslims were putting in his food. We know that he was put into an isolation cell. We know that the Muslims inside that prison were spitting into a little slot that was in his cell. They were throwing feces into his cell. In terms of the overwhelming heat, there was a window there, but he had to keep it closed because of everything they were throwing in there. We've also found out that on at least 3 occasions, his cell was quote-unquote accidentally not locked. Robert, I think it's impossible not to conclude the authorities themselves are trying to get Tommy killed, correct?
Absolutely. And this is all of a piece with the Theresa May government's fiction that there is some right-wing extremist threat that is equivalent to the jihad threat. And they have reiterated this many times, that the various British officials have said, we are going to fight both the Islamic extremists and the right-wing extremists, and behaved as if that Tommy Robinson were somehow the equivalent of Anjem Choudhury or even Osama bin Laden. As a matter of fact, Theresa May herself likened Pamela Geller and me to Abu Hamza and Abu Qatada, who were two jihad terrorists. Abu Hamza is in prison now in the United States for trying to establish an al-Qaeda training camp in Bly, Oregon. And Abu Qatada is now in Jordan and has been accused of multiple connections with al-Qaeda and all kinds of jihad activity. To say that people who oppose jihad terror and have never advocated or supported any violence are equivalent to those who actually are trying to get people killed in the name of Allah is an appalling moral equivalence. But Theresa May made it, and with Tommy Robinson, she has made it even more strongly, such that she does want him gone. The British government has made it very clear. They've admitted all sorts of jihad preachers while banning Pamela Geller and me and Lawrence Southern and Brittany Pettibone and Martin Sellner and Lutz Bachmann from the country. Foes of jihad terror are not welcome in Britain, and they are much less welcome than actual preachers of jihad terror.